Hi all, and welcome to the third part on how to write your PEP. Now, if you've not seen part 1 and part 2, go to the playlist there. If you have, I hope they've helped and I hope it's going really well for you. Now this one, we're going to look at what you're going to do during that 6 to 8 weeks of that program. Yes, you can do your training, but also we're going to look at how you write up the activity sheets and how you're going to use them in your write-up. We're also going to look at the post-test results and tests that you do and how you're going to incorporate them into your write-up too. Right then, part 3. In part 3, we're going to look at how to record a session, evaluate your session, and complete activities during your 6 weeks. We're also going to look at analysing the post-test results. You've got to carry out your training program. So you've done all the planning up to this point, and now you're going to be taking part in your program for 6 to 8 weeks, however long you've set yourself as a target to finish. So each session that's going to work towards your program, you've got to do a training session record sheet. Okay, now Edexcel have got those, or your teachers may have made them for you that you can use for your sessions. Now, what you've got to do at the start is you've got to make sure you date them. You might do your resting heart rate before the session, put your name on, all that kind of stuff. Then keep them somewhere dry. Do your session. At the end of the session, you might record heart rate values. I'll talk about that in the next video. You're going to maybe say exactly what you did during your session, and you're going to do a really important bit at the bottom. You're going to evaluate that session. Was it pitched at the right level for how you are now? And maybe suggestions on how you're going to progress your program or change next time's session. Each evaluation will be what went well during that session and how you're going to adapt it maybe for the future, and name the principles of training. That's really, really important. Okay, so you're going to say what you would do next time session using progressive overload. Maybe you might change a circuit training station, so you're going to use the word specificity and individual needs to kind of make sure it matches your target and helps you improve. Okay, now it might be you decide to make no changes, okay, because the session was really hard, you felt it was the right level of intensity, and you're not sure whether actually the next session is ready to be changed. So you might repeat that session again. All you'd have to remember is that you've now done a session twice in a row, and maybe the third time should be adapted. Otherwise, you're not really applying progressive overload. Okay, it might be a situation like here I've written about someone being injured, so you might justify why you didn't change, or why even you went backwards in your program, did something slightly easier because you're coming back from an injury or illness. Okay, so you can justify those things in here. Progression doesn't always have to be upwards. There are reasons why we sometimes go backwards. Okay, test yourself and gather performance data during your 6 to 8 weeks. So as well as doing your training sessions, also do some of the fitness tests again. Try and get some performance data. So if you're doing swimming, you might get a time during training, or you might even do a competition during that 6 to 8 weeks, which will give you a check mark on how you're progressing. Okay, it might be you're progressing really nicely and you're getting closer to your target. You may even exceed your target before the 6 to 8 weeks is up. Now, if that happens, you can adapt your target, and you can say during your program, at week 6, I exceeded my target and I had 2 more weeks left, so I increased my target by, and make that a really small amount. Okay, so that shows you're being adaptable, you're tracking yourself. That tracking is really important. Track yourself using fitness tests, track yourself using performance data. So we're going to look at post-tests. So you did pre-tests, and we've talked about that in another video. Post-tests are focusing on the tests that are going to tell you if you've achieved your SMART target, essentially. So it's going to be the end of your 6 to 8 weeks. So it's your time-bound target. You're going to test yourself in the period that you said in your SMART targets you would. You're going to retest yourself in the specific SMART target or linked fitness performance element. Okay, so if you were trying to improve your 30-meter speed test, you have to do that one. Okay, you don't actually have to do any of the other tests. It's good to, but you really need to focus on the one that was your SMART. Okay, so if you're doing your speed test, you could also redo the power test, sergeant jump or broad jump, because speed has a link to power. It's correlated together. So it might be interesting to find out if, yes, my speed's improved, my speed test improved, did my power tests also improve? And you can write about that too. Analyse if you met your SMART target. Or did you miss the target, but you felt like you improved, or maybe your performance target improved. It might be your fitness target didn't improve, but your performance did. That's stuff to analyse. Achieving your targets is not essential for this project. It doesn't matter about your final score overall if you beat your SMART target. It might be you didn't meet your SMART target, but if you write really well about why you didn't meet your SMART target, that can still be an excellent piece of work. If a test didn't improve, you can say and maybe justify why it didn't improve. So you can maybe say, well, my speed improved, my sergeant jump didn't, primarily because I didn't do any kind of plyometric training, which would have helped sergeant jumps. I focused more on short interval training, which worked more on speed. So you can kind of justify why you didn't reach certain targets or improve in certain tests. Right, I hope that's helped. And the next video will come out really soon. And that's going to be on how to evaluate your 6 to 8 week training period, which is the really crucial part, and how to conclude it. Good luck.